Very good morning, warriors. We are coming back to our topic, which is about basics of income tax. Yes, yesterday's discussion, we ended the discussion by understanding what is loss, what is tax, and what is direct. Yes, we left the discussion on the direct part. We have not done the discussion on the direct part, but we just dropped our discussion with what is a law and what is a tax. Yeah, we discussed that law is something which is a policy or a procedure which is done for any person, which is done by any person. It may be legal, it may be illegal, that's a different story, but it is a law. Coming to the tax part, we came and clarified that tax is something which is a charge on a person. It may or may not be levied by a government of authority, right? But it will be legal only if it is levied by a government of authority, because of the reason that it is something which is to be done by government on account of constitution. On account of constitution, this is what we learned yesterday. Yes. After that, we came back to our discussion and we came and said, whenever you have a law, law is a bigger term as compared to your act. Law comprises of four components. One is your act, one is your rules, one is your circulars, and one is your case laws. Yes, these are the four items which you have for laws. In that we have we discussed that these items will be classified into three buckets as per your civics concept. One is called as legislative, one is called as administrative, and the last one is called as judicial. Yes, legislative is the body which creates the law. Administrative body is the body which monitors the law, and judicial is the body which is interpreting the law. So from your laws discussion, you will realize that act is something which is done by the legislative body, rules is something which is done by the administrative body, circulars and notifications is also done by administrative body, and any kind of case laws are done by judicial bodies. Yes, this is the discussion which we ended on last day. Yes or no? Yes or no? Perfect. Okay, great. Moving on to our discussion from law. In income tax, these separate off. Because we are learning income tax, we will be discussing what each item in income tax looks like. Yes, but before we get that itself, we need to first understand how does income tax look at it. Where and what is income tax being classified? In simple words, we have to now come back to our discussion on what is called as direct. Now, you may have done CA Inter, so you will fairly know what is a direct, but just to give you an hindsight, direct is something which is a direct charge on a person. What is direct? Direct is something which is a direct charge on a person. Which means I am coming and saying that I have done the work and so I will pay the tax. Simple as that. Okay. I am the person who has done the work, so I will pay the tax. That is called as direct tax. In simple words. Yes. Rahul Appa, what is indirect tax? It means I may have done the work, but the tax will be paid by someone else. Why, what, and everything. Let's take this example. Assuming you are a manufacturer. What are you? Manufacturer. Maybe assuming Apple has decided to come to India, right? So Apple has decided to come to India. Apple has decided that we are going to start manufacturing in India. So they found a manufacturer. Now what is this manufacturer going to do? Manufacturer is going to create the product. Assuming the cost of the product was 100. He will make a revenue. Obviously, he has to earn profits for himself. Yes. So he will earn a revenue of, let's say, 300. He will earn a revenue of how much? 300. Now, what is happening is he will take this product and give it off to someone called as, help me out. Someone called as wholesaler. Yes or no? Manufacturer will sell to whom? Wholesaler. Yes. Now, wholesaler he is giving this product. Will he give it for 100? Obviously no. He's going to give it for 300. Now, the moment he is going to give it for 300, what is going to happen? They are going to come and say that Rahul, 300 is going to give it to the wholesaler. Yes. On this, he will charge something called as GST. Assuming the rate is 5%. Can someone help me with what the GST number is? Help me out. What is the GST number? The GST number is 15. Yes, no. The GST number is 15. Right? Which means when I give it to my wholesaler, I will not raise an invoice for 300. I will raise an invoice for 300 plus 15. So which means the cost for this person becomes 315. Now, wholesaler is having the product. Will he keep it in his home? No. Obviously, he is going to sell it to someone. Whom is he going to sell it to? Wholesaler will give it to retailer. Yes or no? Yes. So wholesaler decided that he'll give this product to the retailer. At what price? Will he give it for 315? No. Let's assume that he decided to earn a revenue of 1000. Now obviously when wholesaler is giving, he will also charge GST. So assuming the rate has not changed, GST will now become 5%, which means he will now pay a GST of how much? 50. Which means tomorrow the product will be sold for 1000 plus 50. Cost for this person will now become 1050. Yes or no? Yes or no? Cost for this person will become 1050. Now what is going to happen? Retailer is going to sell it to whom? Retailer will decide to sell it to consumer or customer, whatever you call him. Retailer will decide to sell it to consumer or customer. Assuming that he decided, I will give it for 1500. I will give it for 1500. Now, if he is going to give it for 1500, he will also charge GST, which means he will also charge at the rate of 5%. He will also charge at the rate of 5%, which means he will charge 75. Now, the cost for consumer becomes how much? It becomes 1500 plus 75. Yes or no? Now, consumer is not going to sell it to anyone, so he will keep the final product. Now, think about it. What is going to happen is the manufacturer is going to give to the wholesaler. Wholesaler is going to give to the retailer. Retailer is going to give it to the consumer. Yes, at every stage we are levying something called as GST. At every stage we are going to levy something called as GST. Now think about it. Manufacturer has to pay GST of 15. So he collected GST of 15 from wholesaler and he said, I am having the 15 rupees, which is not my money. It is my wholesaler's money. I will give it to government. So what will wholesaler do? What will manufacturer do? Manufacturer will go to government and come and say, dear sir, here 15 rupees you keep. 15 rupees you keep. Now question to you, is this 15 rupees the cost of manufacturer or the cost of the, is the cost of the wholesaler or the cost of the manufacturer? It is the cost of the manufacturer. Yes. So which means manufacturer has to pay a charge of 15 rupees to government, which he is giving to the wholesaler. Wholesaler has to give 15 rupees to the government, which he is giving it to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will pay on his behalf. Yes or no? Yes. Now, what is going to happen? Wholesaler is going to take this number and wholesaler is going to say, I have to pay to government how much? 50. I have to pay to government 50. So wholesaler will go to government, he'll come and say, dear sir, I have collected 50 from retailer, so I am giving you 50. But wholesaler will also come and say, sir, understand, no, I never use the product also. I gave it off to the retailer. I was Suma trading person. I did not even keep the product with myself, sir. But I have paid 15 to you earlier. I have already paid 15 to you. Again, you are asking me 50. That will become double money for me. Do one thing. Give me back that 15. What is this 15 called, people? Anyone? Any idea? CA inter-syllabus. What is it 15 called? Ratanya, can you help me? Very good. It is called as ITC. Which means now the wholesaler is going to pay to the government how much? The wholesaler is only going to pay to the government 35. Now think about it carefully. Retailer paid 50. This whole 50 is what has gone to the government. Just that 35 the wholesaler paid, 15 the manufacturer paid. Yes or no? Yes. 35 is what the retailer paid and 15 is what the manufacturer paid, and therefore 50 overall retailer it has gone to government. Yes. Next, what will happen? Retailer will come and say, dear sir, I also have to collect GST from my customer. So he collected 75. He will go to the government and he'll come and say, dear government, I have to give 75. But I have already given 50. Therefore, I will give you only 25. Which means now if you notice, 75 is what was collected from the consumer. The 75 has been paid as 15 by the manufacturer, 35 by the wholesaler, and 25 by the retailer. Technically, the overall cost which has gone to government is only 75. The overall tax which has gone to government is only 75. Now, this 75, while consumer has to pay, various other people have paid it on his behalf. Various other people has paid it on his behalf. Basically, they've collected from the consumer and they've paid it. This is called as indirect taxes. What is it called as? Indirect taxes, which means the tax of one person is being paid by someone else. My tax, I'm shifting the burden. Manufacturer had no burden. Wholesaler had a burden of 15. He shifted it off to manufacturer. Retailer had a burden of 50. He shifted it off to wholesaler. Consumer had a burden of 75. He gave it back to retailer. There is a shift of burden happening. Tax is not being levied on me. Tax is being levied on my consumptions. Yes or no? Idhe same logic. Think about it. What is happening? At every stage you're earning profits. Manufacturer incurred a cost of 100. But manufacturer sold it for 300, which means manufacturer made a profit of 200. Yes or no? Yes. Manufacturer made a profit of 200. Government will come and say, you made a profit. I cannot let you go. You pay me on this something called as income tax. You pay on this something called as income tax. Can manufacturer go to wholesaler and come and say, dear wholesaler, I sold it to you for 300. I made a profit of 200. Do one thing, you pay my tax. Can he do that? No, he cannot do that. Manufacturer will come and say, dear sir, no, nothing works out like that. I have earned the profit, I will pay the tax. Similar logic, go to wholesaler. Wholesaler will come and say, sir, I sold it for 1,000. My cost is 300. Rahul, why is it not 315? Because 15 you paid off to government, no? Yes or no? 15 you paid off to government, so technically my cost is only 300. My cost is 300. My sale value is 100, which means I made a profit of 700. On this, government will come and say, you pay me your tax. Then we will go to retailer. Retailer will come and say, sir, I sold it for 1,500. My cost was 1,000, which means I made a profit of 500. On this, I will pay tax under income tax. Yes. Now coming to the consumer, can consumer pay an income tax? No, because consumer never did a profit. If you realize what is happening is, in the direct tax scenario, the profit is earned by one person, the tax is being paid by the same person. No one else can take your burden. You have to pay your own tax. Tomorrow you cannot go to the government and come and say that, sir, my profits, I gave it off to wholesaler. Not possible, because the wholesaler will also earn his own profit, you will earn your own profit, and therefore that is called as direct taxes. In simple words, if I have to split, I have two words. One word is called as direct, one word is called as indirect. And the other word is called as indirect. Direct is a charge on income. Hey, whose income? My income or someone else's income? Someone else's income illa, my income. Yes, direct is a charge on income. Indirect tax is a charge on consumption. Indirect is a charge on consumption. Yes or no? Yes. Next one, direct. Hey, direct, like, can you shift a burden? No. No shifting of burden. I have earned the profit, I will pay the tax. I cannot go and say that no, I earned the profit but someone else will pay tax. Doesn't work like that. I have earned the profit, I will have to pay the tax. Indirect tax. Shift of burden allowed, not allowed? Shift of burden allowed, not allowed? People, shift of burden allowed. My taxes, I am going and saying someone else will pay. I will not pay that tax. Yes or no? Third. Think from the top. On the top, if you realize what is happening, every time my revenue was increasing, I was asking the other person to pay more tax. Yes or no? Yes or no? If I decided that I want to charge revenue of 300, I am asked to pay GST of 15. But am I paying that 15? No, I am going and saying, wholesaler, you give me the 15. Come to the manufacturer, come to the wholesaler. Wholesaler says he wants to sell it for 1000. He wants to sell it for 1000. Because he is going to sell it for 1000, he is being asked to levy GST of 50. Is he paying that GST of 50? No, he is going and asking retailer to pay that 50. Yes or no? Yes or no? Which means what is happening? The more and more you try to earn revenue, the more and more his tax increases. The more and more you try to earn revenue, the more and more his tax increases. Think about it. Think about it. Assuming you are running Reliance. Reliance is a big people, small people. It's a big people. Yes, which means they will earn big revenue. If they are going to earn big revenue, they will ask more GST from others, or they'll ask less GST from others. They will ask more GST from others, which means the rich people are asking more GST from middle class people. Middle class people are asking more GST from poor class people. Yes or no? Yes or no? Which means even though your income is increasing, GST is putting a burden on someone else. Are you trying to progress India with that, or are you trying to reduce India with that? You are trying to reduce India with that, which is why indirect taxes are regressive in nature. What are indirect taxes? Indirect taxes are regressive in nature. Same example. Think about it. If Ambani is going to earn more profits, will Ambani pay more tax, or will the consumer pay more tax? Will Ambani pay more tax, or consumer will pay more tax? Obviously, Ambani will pay more tax, which means higher your income, higher your tax. Imagine, India, the person earning more is paying more tax. India will progress more, or India will decrease more? India will progress more or decrease more? India will progress more. Therefore, direct taxes are progressive in nature. What is direct taxes? Direct taxes are progressive in nature. Purida. Yes. Direct taxes are progressive in nature, which means higher the income, higher the tax. Higher your income, higher is your tax. Higher your income, higher is your tax. In regressive does not mean that lower the income, higher your tax. That's not the idea. It's not the idea that lower the income, higher the tax. It means tax remains same. It means tax remains the same regardless of your income. Tax remains the same regardless of your income. Rahul, in simple words, understand, iPhone 15 has come right now. iPhone 15 is going to charge you 1,50,000. Right? Now, whether Ambani buys 1,50,000 odd iPhone or Rahul buys 1,50,000 odd iPhone, GST will change, not change. GST will change, not change. It will not change. Can someone come and say, no, Rahul, actually Ambani is paying 1,500 rupees. No, why should Ambani not pay more GST? Can someone come and say Ambani should pay more GST? No. They will come and say 1,50,000 is what Ambani bought it for. 1,50,000 is what Rahul bought it for, which means GST will remain the same whether Ambani buys it or Rahul buys it, which means doesn't matter what your income is, tax will remain the same as long as the consumption is the same. Tax will remain the same as long as the consumption is the same. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. This is your difference between something called as direct tax and indirect tax. Can we recollect it together? Yes. What is direct tax? Direct tax is a charge on income. Indirect tax is a charge on your consumption. Direct tax is a charge on income. Indirect tax is a charge on consumption. Which one is progressive in nature? Direct tax. Which one is regressive in nature? Indirect tax. Which one can shift to burden? Direct tax. Which one cannot shift to burden? Indirect taxes. This is what the logic is. Clear till here? Clear till here? Yes. Rahul, I have to give you some examples. Okay, here is the examples. Here is the example. First example for direct tax will be obviously income tax. First example will be income tax. Yes or no? Yes or no? Coming to indirect tax, what is the example for you, ma? What is the example for you? We have GST. Very good. Anything else? Customs. Next. Have you heard about VAT? Yes. Excise duty. Then service tax. Very good. Anything else? Anything else? No? No? Coming to the direct tax part, Rahul, is there any other tax which you can think of? I can think of earlier times there was something called as wealth tax. Earlier times there was something called as wealth tax. Now it is abolished. Now it is abolished. Then there was something called as gift tax. Then it was there something called as gift tax. The more I give you gift, the more tax for you. The more I give you gift, the more I tax for you. Rahul, is it there right now? No. Why is it not there, Rahul? It is a part of income tax itself. It is a part of income tax itself. Two more things which you are going to learn in your syllabus itself. Two more things which you are going to learn in your syllabus itself. One is called as equalization levy. What levy? Equalization levy. Equalization levy. You will learn it in your syllabus. You will learn it in your syllabus. International tax panamodu, we will learn this chapter. We will learn this chapter. One is called as equalization levy. Second thing which you are going to learn is called as black money act. Second thing which you are going to learn is black money act. All those are also direct taxes. You have done the illegal business, you will be paid to. You will be asked to pay taxes. You have done the illegal business, so you will be asked to pay taxes. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So we have learned some items for income direct tax. We have learned some items for indirect tax. What are the examples? Direct tax, you have income tax, wealth tax, gift tax, equalization levy, black money tax. Black money tax. Indirect taxes, you have GST, VAT, customs, service duty, service tax, then excise duty, etc. etc. Yes. All these are your direct taxes and indirect taxes. Any doubts still here? Any doubts still here? All clear for you, Tanya? Yes. Perfect. You're free to keep yourself unmute, ma. There's no problem at all. Okay. Yeah. Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. This is the differentiation between your direct and indirect taxes. This is the differentiation between direct and indirect taxes, which means now we have understood all the three words. The first word was loss. The second word was tax. The third word was direct. The third word was direct. All the three have been discussed. All the three have been discussed. Clear till here? Yes. Yes. Now, coming back to the law part. Coming back to the law part. Now we are going to specify what laws we have for income tax. What laws we have for income tax. I told you when it comes to laws, you have what are the components? What are the components? One is called as act. The other is called as, very good. The other is called as rules. Then you have circulars, notifications. Very good. Then you have case laws. Then you have case laws. Yes or no? Yes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to elaborate for income tax part. I'm going to elaborate for income tax part. Same logic works for other acts also. Same logic works for other acts also. When it comes to act, income tax is saying, boss, you have two kinds of act to read right now with me. You have two kinds of act to read right now with me. One is called as ITA 1961. One is called as ITA 1961. In full form, it is called as Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961. Second, you have to read something called as FA. Second, you have to read something called as FA. What is this called as? Finance Act. Finance Act. For your attempt, you need to read Finance Act 2023. For your attempt, you have to read Finance Act 2023. Rahul, why 2023? We will discuss. We will discuss. Don't worry about it. Right now, you have to read something called as Finance Act 2023. Clear? Clear? Yes. Yes. Perfect. Yes. Next, we have rules. Next, we have rules. What rules we have, Rahul? We have ITR, meaning income tax rules. Meaning we have income tax rules. Now, income tax rules should be what year, ma? 1962. 1962. Why, Rahul, 1962? We will discuss. We will discuss. Right now, it is income tax rules 1962. Rahul, generally, this is what happens. Is it act vandittu or year la irukum, rules vandittu next year la irukum? No. No. It is only specifically and special for income tax. It is only specifically and special for income tax for some other reason. For some other reason, we will discuss. We will discuss. But other than this, if you go to any other act, let's say, for example, you go to Companies Act. Companies Act will say 2013. Companies rules will also say 2013. Company's rules will also say 2013. So both will be the same year. Both will be the same year. This is only special for income tax. This is only special for income tax. Then you have circulars, notifications, you have case laws. Yes, you have these items. You have these items. Clear, not clear? Clear? Yes. Now let's elaborate everyone. Let's elaborate everyone. First item is called as Income Tax Act 1961. The first act is called as Income Tax Act 1961. The first act is called as Income Tax Act 1961. Question to you, Rahul, Income Tax Act will be created by legislative body, administrative body, judicial body. It will be done by legislative body. It will be done by legislative body. Yes. So what happened is in 1961, legislative body sat together and they decided that we will do one income tax for everyone. We will do for income tax for everyone. Then you will come and ask me, Rahul, Appuna income tax came only in 1961, is it? Adukku munadi income tax illiya. Income tax was there. Income tax was there. Before this, income tax was called as Income Tax Act 1922. What was it called as? Income Tax Act 1922. Adukku munadi it was some 1838 something. 1838 something, and it has been there from king times itself. From the time kings were ruling India, from that time itself Income Tax Act was there. They have just modified it to 1961 now. They have modified it to 1961 right now. Reason is very simple. 1922 was after independence, before independence. 1922 is before independence. 1922 is before independence, which means the laws which were there in that Income Tax Act was created by Indian people or British people? It was done by British people. Will Indian people be happy by British laws? No. So therefore they came and said after independence we created a new law called as Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961. Yes. Now, how to read an act is first the question. How to read an act is first the question. Since you have now entered finals, you need to know how to read an act also first. Okay. It may not be possible that after you qualify your CA, people will come and always give you a study material to read from. Yes. You will become obligated to read an bare act. You'll be obligated to read an bare act. So let's read a bare act. Let's read a bare act. When you read a bare act looks like this. It starts with a paper and the A4 sheet irukum. Okay. The A4 sheet will be there. In this A4 sheet, they will come and first put on the emblem irukum. Nammaloda and the 3-line emblem irukla. And 3-line emblem irukum. Then they will come and say Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961. Appadina irukum. Okay. Then they will come and say, Rahul, every act will start with something called as sections. Every act will start with something called as sections. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, yes. So keeping this in mind, I am going to put the first level of sections. I'm going to put the first level of sections. In Income Tax Act, the first level of section will be called as section number 1. You cannot start with 2, right? You have to start with section number 1. You have to start with section number 1. What do you think is a part of section number 1, people? What do you think is the part of section number 1? Very good. There are 3 items in it. One is called as short title. One is called as short title. Then it is scope and commencement. There is short title, scope and commencement. Yes, yes. 3 words I have given to you. Help me out. Help me out. First one is called as short title. What is the short title of this act, ma? What is the short title of this act? Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961. Yes, straightforward, simple. Straightforward, simple. Section 1 comes and says this act will going forward be called as Income Tax Act 1961. Next. What is it called as? Scope. Scope na enna artham? Scope na enna artham? Here is where you will decide whether it is a union list, state list or concurrent list. Hey, what is income tax? What is income tax? Union list or state list? Union list. If income tax is union list, which means it will apply to India or state? It will apply to the whole of India. So this act is applicable to whole of India. This act is applicable to whole of India. Back in those times, I also used to write this word called as including Jammu and Kashmir. Including Jammu and Kashmir. Back in those times. Now it is not relevant. You had this article called as article number 377. Yes or no? And article number 377 used to come and say that if you want to levy something in Jammu and Kashmir, you have to get special approvals. You have to get special approvals. So back then we had to decide whether Jammu and Kashmir ka varoma varadu. Now we don't have to decide. Now everything will be applicable to Jammu and Kashmir also, as long as we call it India. So it is applicable to the whole of India. Third item, what is it called as? What is the third item? Third item is commencement. Commencement means the day from which it is applicable. Income tax comes and says it shall apply from sollu paapom 1st April. Na help pandren 1st April. Then okay, 1960 1962 Rahul act heading la 1961 irukku, commencement vandu 1962 solra, ennada prachana? What is the issue here? How is this that the act is showing 1961 but the commencement is showing 1962? What is wrong? Did they miss out the number or did something go wrong? Did they miss out a number or is it intentional? It was intentional. Rahul, why is it intentional? You may have done it in CA Inter. In income tax, everything is termed in assessment year terms. In income tax, everything is termed as assessment year terms. Income tax does not come and say it is applicable from previous year. They say it is applicable from assessment year. So they are coming and saying it is applicable from 1st April 1962, which means it is applicable from assessment year 1962-63. Yes or no? It is applicable from 1962-63, which means previous year 1961-62. Yes or no? I have to bring an act and I have to come and say, ini mele this act is there. In this act, if you earn this much income in this previous year, I will ask you to pay tax in the assessment year. Yes or no? So they brought the act in 1961. They came and said, what and all I will tax. Then I am giving you that 1 year to earn that income. And assessment year, I am asking you for tax. Yes or no? Yes. Therefore, it is assessment year 1962-63 with the previous year 61-62. Clear, not clear? Yes. We will elaborate the assessment year and previous year in some time, but right now you understand what is assessment and previous year. Yes or no? This is what you would have learned in your CA Inter. There is something called as assessment year and there is something called as previous year. Yes or no? Yes. This is what is Income Tax Act. Any doubts till here? No. We have two acts. One act is called as Income Tax Act. I am telling Income Tax Act, you start from section number 1. In section number 1, we have short title, scope, commencement. Short title is Income Tax Act. Scope is whole of India. Commencement is from 1st April 1962. Clear, not clear? Clear? Can you help me out? I am going to put the next act. You are going to help me out. Okay. The next act heading is called as Finance. Finance Act. What did I tell you? It is 2023. I told you it is Finance Act 2023. Finance Act 2023 will start from section number same 1. Will start from section number 1. What are the 3 items? People? Short title, scope, commencement. What is short title? Same. Finance Act 2023. Very good. Scope. Finance Act is passed by state government or central government? Central government. So scope, whole of India. Scope is whole of India. Yes or no? Commencement. Solo papo. 2020. 24. By Rahul. Same assessment year concept. Yes or no? Yes or no? It is the same assessment year concept. I am coming and saying it is applicable from 1st April 2024. Now think about it. You are writing exam for attempt May 24. You are writing exam for attempt May 24. If you are going to write as exam for May 24, exam mode May 24, you will be assessment year. You will be assessment year. So assessment year will be 24-25, which means you need to read for previous year 23-24. For that previous year, Finance Act will be 23. For that previous year will be 2023. Clear, not clear? Clear, not clear? Yes, yes. Be extremely careful about it as to what Finance Act are you reading exam for. For what Finance Act are you reading exam for? You have to be extremely careful about this because by the time you clear May 24, next Finance Act will come, not come. It will come. Yes or no? Next Finance Act will come. Rahul, how will it come? How will it come? Let's discuss that. Let's discuss that. What is the sequence? How does an act come? How does an act come? What do you think? How does an act come? Suma, today, one day, Modi will stand on the stage and he'll come and say, Inimale act. Or will there be a process? There will be a process. What is the process? What is the process? Hey, when it comes to income tax, one day is very relevant for us. That one day everyone will be jumping everywhere. That day is called as 1st February. The day is called as 1st February, which is nothing but the, what is it fancily called? It's called as the budget day. Hey, what day? Budget day. Yes. On 1st February, everyone will jump and they'll come and say, here is the budget day. Here is the budget day. On this budget day will stand our very honorable finance minister. Our honorable finance minister will come on the stage and she'll come and say, for this year, we are expecting this education, MSME, RBI, this, that. And finally, she will end up and come and say, now comes the most exciting part, which is called as direct tax. Now comes the most exciting part, which is called as direct tax. Then she will read out one speech. Yes or no? Where is she reading that speech? She is reading that speech from something called as a finance bill. What bill? Finance bill. She's reading it from something called as finance bill. Understand? Today it has not become an act. You're just proposing. You're just proposing. Until you propose, act is called as bill. Act is called as bill. So what will this be called? It will be called as Finance Bill 2023. It will be called as Finance Bill 2023. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now, you have a finance bill. Miss Nirmala Sitharaman is standing on the stage. She's telling everything. She's telling everything. Where is she telling this? Where is she telling this? She's telling it in. She's telling it in Lok Sabha. Yes or no? She's standing in Lok Sabha. No. She's standing in Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, she's standing and she's coming and saying, this is what is my finance bill. This is what is my finance bill. She will come and she'll give a whole story. She'll come and give a whole story on 1st February. Yes. On this 1st February, what will happen? Bill will be placed. Bill will be placed. Yes or no? Then 1 month time will be given. 1 month time will be given. We will circulate this bill all over India. We will circulate this bill all over India and we'll call all of us. You, me, all qualified CAs, advocates and everyone. They'll be called and we'll be said, sir, this is the finance bill. If you think this is good, good. If you think there are some mistakes, let me know. Who is asking this? Nirmala Sitharaman is asking. Yes. So FM minister is saying, all the educated people of India, here is the finance bill. Go through it. Let me know if you have some issues. Go through it and let me know if you have some issues. I am coming and saying, okay, there are some issues. There are some issues. What will happen? What will happen? I will write to Nirmala Sitharaman and I'll come and say, dear ma'am, finance bill, this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. Will she look at it? She will not look at it. She will look at it. So what she'll do, somewhere 1 month later, she will update the finance bill. What will she do? She will update the finance bill. She will update the finance bill. Now the finance bill is ready. Final clear finance bill. The finance bill is ready. What will happen? This will then go to Lok Sabha. This will then go to Lok Sabha. In Lok Sabha, Nirmala Sitharaman will come and say, dear leaders of India, this is the final finance bill which has been approved by the Indian citizens also. I am placing it before you. Please Please approve. Please approve. Lok Sabha will decide. Either they will approve or they will reject. Why will they reject, Rahul? Because they are not happy. Because they are not happy. Rejection will only happen in case opposition has more power. Opposition has more power. Does opposition has power in today's market? No. Which means it will always be approved. It will always be approved. Let's assume Lok Sabha approved it. Let's assume Lok Sabha approved it. Next step, Rahul. Next step, what will happen, Rahul? It will go to the upper house, which is called as Rajya Sabha. It will go to the upper house, which is called as Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha members will come and say, dear Rajya Sabha, we have approved it from our side. We have approved it from our side. You also look at it. You also look at it. You also approve. You also approve. Then what will Rajya Sabha do? Rajya Sabha will also approve or recommend something. They will come and say, yes, everything is looking right. This may be wrong. This may be wrong. You change it off. Or they will reject. They will either approve or they will recommend or they will reject. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now Rajya Sabha assuming approved. Rajya Sabha assuming approved. Rajya Sabha will then give it to yaar. We will give it to the president. We will give it to the president. Yes. Why are we giving to the president? We are going and telling the president, dear president, Lok Sabha has approved. Rajya Sabha is also approved. We need to make it official. We need to make it official. You are the leader. You are the leader. Please make it official. Please make it official. Which means, please understand, what goes to president is not for approval. We are not going and telling the president, here, sir, this is the file, approve it off. We are saying, dear president, this is the file, give a consent. Give a what? Rahul, what is the difference? What is the difference, Rahul? First two people I came and said they are approving. Here I am saying he is consenting. What is the difference, Rahul? What is the difference? The difference is president cannot come and say, I want to reject the bill. Get lost, cannot happen. Okay, it will go to president, will come and say, president sir, Lok Sabha approved, Rajya Sabha approved, put your sign and get lost. Put your sign and get lost. You cannot come and tell me what to do. You cannot come and tell me what to do, which means president is there only for consent, which means in simple words, signing. If president signs, good. If president sign, good. President cannot make any changes. President cannot make any changes. Either they have put a condition. Either they have put a condition. They have said he has to give a consent within 14 days. What he has to do? He has to give a consent within 14 days, which means I will go to president and I will come and say, sir, here is the bill. Lok Sabha approved. Rajya Sabha approved. Give me consent. You have 14 days. You have 14 days. Give me consent. President gave consent. Good. President does not give consent. They will say 14 days later it has become passed. Which means I am giving you 14 days. Put your sign. Put your sign. You don't put your sign, I will assume you signed. I will assume you signed, which means you are as good as a dummy body. You are as good as a dummy body. உனக்கு authority இல்ல. நான் உனக்கு சொல்றேன் 14 days வச்சிருக்க. இந்த 14 days நீ sign பண்ணி கொடுத்துட்டா நல்லாவே. You don't sign it for me, 14 days later it will become approved. 14 days later it will become approved. Do you think president has powers? Do you think president has powers? No powers for him. No powers for him. Assuming he approved or he did not approve. 14 days later it got automatic approved. It got automatic approved. This will now become a act. This will now become an act. Yes or no? Yes. This will now become an act. But this whole process, will Indian citizens know? Will I know that Lok Sabha approved, Rajya Sabha approved, president consented? No. Which means I need to know. I need to know. Who am I? I'm an Indian citizen. I'm an Indian citizen. I need to know that this has happened. I need to know that this has happened. So what happens is, Indian government has a portal. Indian government has a portal. The portal is called as Gazette. What is the portal called as? Gazette. Yes. Because they are maintaining it electronically, it is called as e-Gazette now. What is it called as? e-gazette. So what will happen is this act will be published in the e-gazette. Will be published in the e-gazette, and government of India comes and says, if I publish something in e-gazette, it is assumed as circulated to the whole India. It is assumed that it is circulated to the whole of India, which means the day when it hits my e-gazette, it will now be called as Finance Act 2023. Finance Act 2023. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now think about it. You are writing what attempt, people? You are writing May 24. You are writing May 24. Now, if I have to tell you that you are applicable for Finance Act 24, if I tell you that you are applicable for Finance Act 24, when will this budget be passed? It will be passed on 1st February 24. Yes or no? Now, I am that day giving the bill act. Bill. Then it will go for 1 month time. Changes will happen. Then it will go to Lok Sabha. Then it will go to Rajya Sabha. Yes or no? First it will go to Lok Sabha. Then it will go to Rajya Sabha. Then it will go to President. Hey, everything will happen in 1 day's time. Huh? No, it will take some time. It will take some time. Assuming it happens on 29th March. It happens on 29th March. 29th March what? 2024. You are writing 1st May. You're writing 1st May. Can I expect you to know what changes happened 2 months before? Can I expect you to know what changes happened 2 months before? Which means, can I make Finance Act 24 applicable for you? No, I cannot make Finance Act 24 applicable for you, which means the only Finance Act I can make applicable for you is Finance Act 2023. Clear, not clear? Clear? Yes. So for your exam, you have Finance Act 2023. You have Finance Act 2023. Any doubts? Any doubts? No. I'm coming to that. What happens if it is November 24 Rahul? What happens if it is November 24 Rahul? It's very simple. Understand, when you create one Finance Act, it is applicable for the whole year or it is applicable for 6 months? It is applicable for the whole year. Yes, I am saying Finance Act is applicable for, assessment year 24-25, which means whatever income you earn in 23-24. Yes or no? Whatever incomes you earn in 23-24. Now you are writing exam for November. Assuming I say that you are liable for assessment year 25-26, which is nothing but Finance Act 24. Assuming for November attempt, I come and say that you are liable for Finance Act 24. What are you liable for? Finance Act 24. Your assessment year will become 25-26. Your previous year will become 24-25. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now tell me, 24-25 means 1st April 24 to 31st March 25. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now you are writing exam on 1st November 24. Hey, when you are writing the exam, is the year over? No. Which means, do you know how much income have you earned? No. If you don't know how much income have you earned, can you compute your tax? If you cannot compute your tax, do you think Finance Act will be applicable? No. Which means, even for November attempt, Finance Act 24 cannot be applicable. It cannot be applicable. The only thing which can become applicable for you is Finance Act 23. Finance Act 2023. That is why, if you notice, when I prepared this chart, when I gave you my pamphlets, my pamphlets books and also come and say May/November 24. My books come and say May/November 24, which means either it is May or it is November. Nothing will change. Nothing will change. It will remain the same. It will remain the same. Clear, Ritanya? Awesome. Okay, great. Yes. Now, this is what the background is. At the same time, let me clarify to you. For your exams, Finance Act 23 may be applicable. But when you go for your interview, that time Finance Act 24 would have come, not come. It would have come. Yes, by March itself it will come. Your results will come somewhere in July. Yes. So by the time you appear for your interview, your results have, your Finance Act has already come. Which means, is there a possibility that the interview may ask you for all these questions? Yes. So understand this carefully. When you go for your interview, you may know Finance Act 23 because that is what you read for exams. But when you go for your interview, you also need to know Finance Act 24. So which means that will be a self-study. That will be a self-study. You have to be extremely careful about that. Yes. How do you answer this in an interview? How do you answer this in an interview? Simple question. Simple question. Assuming the interviewer comes and asks you, tell me, sir, what Finance Act have you read? Tell me what Finance Act have you read? You will come and ask, first tell me what assessment year do you want for? What assessment year do you want for? He says, Rahul, I want assessment year 2021. For example, he wants assessment year 2021. You will come and say, okay, sir, then you have to give me Finance Act what? If you want to know something about assessment year 2021, you need to read Finance Act what? 2019. Check, no? Finance Act 23 was assessment year 24-25, which means assessment year 2021 will be Finance Act 2019. Yes or no? Yes or no? Same logic. He comes and says, Rahul, I want to know what changes have happened in assessment year 24-25. What changes have happened in finance assessment year 24-25? You will come and say, okay, sir, that is Finance Act 2023. Have you read Finance Act 2023? Yes, because that is what you're reading for exam. That is what you're reading for exam. Assuming he comes and says, I want assessment year 25-26. What does he ask for? Assessment year 25-26. You will come and say, okay, sir, that is Finance Act 2024. Very good. It will be Finance Act 2024. Here you will come and say, dear sir, I understand Finance Act 2024 is what you want for. Unfortunately, I did not read this for my exams. I am happy to support you, but if I get a document, if you give me the whole Finance Act, I can read some parts and I can come and tell you what changes have happened. If you have read and gone, great. If you have not read and gone, this is what you can tell. This is what you can tell. Don't worry, people are not expecting you to know Finance Act 24. Okay, that's a little far-fetched idea because you have not still cleared your exam. Yes or no? Yes or no? So that time they do not expect you to know Finance Act 2024. Assuming in interview they come and ask you such tricky questions, you can simply come and say, maybe I have not gone through it. If you give me the document, I can go through it and I can come back to you. I can go through it and come back to you. Yes or no? Yes or no? Just be very careful about which Finance Act are you talking about. Okay. Purita, can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes, this is what is called as Finance Act and Income Tax Act. Any doubts? No. Now, when you come to Finance Act, Finance Act has various things, right? It will start with Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4, and poitergo, where Section 1 will come and say short title, extent, commencement. Section 2 will come and say definitions. Section 3 will come and say these are the changes I am making in income tax. Okay. Then we have something called as schedules. What do you have? Schedules. Rahul, why are we having the schedules? Schedules are like annexures. Schedules are like annexures. When you were in CA Inter also, you would have learned this something called as rates of taxes. Okay, individual up to 2.5 lakhs no tax, 2.5 to 5 lakhs some tax, 5 to something tax and all. Where is this given, Rahul? It is given in Finance Act. It is given in Finance Act. Where in Finance Act, Rahul? It is given in schedules. It is given in schedules. Yes. So what happens is in schedules you have schedule number 1. You have schedule number 1. In that schedule number 1 you have part A, part B, part C, part D. Part A, part B, part C, part D. These items will give you the rates of taxes. How, Rahul? Part A will come and say the tax rate for assessment year 23-24. Tax rate for assessment year 23. Rahul, we are reading for 24-25. We are reading for 24-25. Why have they given this, Rahul? They are basically coming and trying to clarify to you what were the old rates. They are trying to clarify to you what were the old rates. So in part A we are clarifying the old rates. Part B we are clarifying what is the TDS for previous year 23-24. What are the TDS rates for 23-24, which means from 1st April, what TDS rate should you use? Part C comes and says, what is my tax rate for assessment year 24-25? My tax rate for assessment year 24-25. For your exam, part A is important, part B is important, or part C is important? For your exam, part A, part B, or part C? Which exam are you writing, ma? Assessment year 24-25, which means for you part A, part B, or part C? It is part C. It is part C. Clear? Clear? Yes. So for your exams, you have to look at part C. You have to look at part C. The reason I'm asking you is, in case you go to the person and you come and say, sir, I'm not aware about Finance Act 24, you give me the Finance Act. Then you should know where to search. You should know where to search. Don't end up searching part A, because part A will give you old rates. You have to search for part C. You have to search for part C. Clear? Clear? What is part D, Rahul? Part D is basically your agriculture income tax. Part D is your agriculture income tax, which means in case your income has some agricultural income, how to work it out? How to work it out? In CA Inter, you would have done something called as partial integration. You would have done something called as partial integration. This is what it is. This is what it is. That will be given in part D. That will be given in part D. Clear? Clear? Yes. Yes. So you have 4 parts: part A, part B, part C, part D. You need to read part C. You need to read part C. Clear? Yes. Where is this part C given in your book, Rahul? This is chapter number 2. This is chapter number 2. In chapter number 2, we will discuss what happens in part C. In chapter number 2, we will discuss what happens in part C. Clear? Yes, everyone. Any doubts? No? No? Nice. Going forward. Going forward. We are coming and saying, Rahul, we have first component completed, which is called as act. Which is called as act. Can we go forward? Yes. Second component is, what is second component? Where is it? Yes. Second component is rules. Second component is rules. Now, tell me, what do you mean by rules, Rahul? What do you mean by rules? Yes, what do you think means by rules? Anyone? Random idea. Random idea. What do you mean by rules? I'll ask you a simple question. I'll ask you a simple question. Yes. Assuming the act has a policy. The act comes and says, Miss so and so has to pay 30 rupees as tax. Okay. Act comes and says, you have to pay 30 rupees as tax. That's all. Yes. Now, how to pay the 30 rupees as a tax is a question. Yes. Should you go to the income tax office and give it? Should you pay online? If you have to pay online, which year should you pay? When should you pay? How should you pay? How much should you pay? Everything is to be defined. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Which means today if I come and tell you that if you have to pay taxes, I also have to come and tell you how to pay the taxes. Now, tell me, no? Nirmala Sitharaman has decided that you have to pay 30 rupees tax. Will Nirmala Sitharaman come and tell you how to pay tax? Will she come to the budget and she'll come and say you have to log into income tax portal, in that you have to put this, then you pay the tax? Or will Nirmala Sitharaman come and say my job is to tell you how much to pay tax? There is some other person who will tell you how to pay tax. I have created a special body. I have created a special body. That special body will come and tell you how to pay the tax. Yes or no? Yes or no? That special body is creating something called as a rule for you to follow. Yes, it is coming and saying that the act is coming and saying you have to pay tax of 30. I will come and tell you how to pay tax of that 30, which means I am telling you a procedure. I am telling you a procedure. Hey, this procedure will be part of act, part of rules. Will be part of rules. Very good. Yes. So what are rules? Rules are your procedures given. Rules are your procedures given to follow in an act. Rules are your procedures given to follow in an act. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. No. Question to you. Act comes and says 30 rupees is the tax. Act comes and says 30 rupees is the tax. Rule is coming and saying pay 45 as tax. Pay 45 as tax. Can rule come and do that? Can rule come and say, act is saying 30 rupees tax, I don't care what the act is saying, I want 45 tax. Can rules do that? Can rules do that? No. Why, Rahul? Because rules are for you to follow from an act. Rules for you are to follow from an act. Rules cannot come and tell you what has to be done over and above the act. Yes or no? Which means in act and a rule, which is superior? Which is superior? Very good. Act is an superior one. Act is an superior one. The reason is because act is passed by Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President. Yes or no? Rules is not passed by anyone. Rules is not passed by anyone. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So rules are something which is inferior to an act. Rules can only tell you how to follow an act. Rules cannot go beyond the act. Rules cannot go beyond the act. Which means someone smaller is creating the rules. Someone smaller is creating the rules. Who's creating the rules? Some special person. Some special person. In income tax, this special person is called as C, B, D and T. C, B, D and T. Full form. Central Board of. Very good. It is called as Central Board of Direct Taxes. This Central Board of Direct Taxes will create the rules. Will create the rules and will come and tell how to follow an act. Will come and tell you how to follow an act. Which is why if you notice, who's creating the rules here? CBDT is creating the rules. Now CBDT is a part of parliament or is it the parliament? It's a part of parliament. An act is created by the whole parliament. Which means you cannot override the parliament. You cannot override the parliament. Yes or no? Yes or no? So rules are something which is a policies created for implementing an act. Cannot be superseding an act. Will be created by someone called as CBDT. Will be created by someone called as CBDT. Now, if you remember, I told you income tax rules is 1962. Income tax rules is 1962. Why, Rahul, income tax rules is 1962? Same logic. What logic? Assessment year logic. Yes, I am telling you how to follow, ma. I am telling you how to follow. Will I tell you how to follow from the year in which you are going to pay tax, or will you tell you how to follow from the year in which you are earning income? I will tell you how to follow from the year in which you pay your taxes. So therefore they came and said rules will come from 1962 because assessment year is 1962. Yes or no? Since assessment year is 1962, rules are also coming from 1962. Clear, not clear? Clear, not clear? Yes, this is what your rules look like. This is what your rules look like. Any doubts still here? Any doubts still here? Can we go forward? Yes, Ritanya, all clear? All clear? Yes, yes. Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. The first item we learnt is act. Second item we learnt is rules. What are the other items, Rahul? The next item is circulars and notifications. The next item is circulars and notifications. Yes, I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to ask you, do you remember your CA Inter? If yes, can you tell me what do you mean by circulars and what do you mean by notifications? Anyone, that's okay. Anyone can tell me what do you mean by circulars and what do you mean by notifications? What do you mean by circulars and what do you mean by notifications? Anyone? Any idea? Any idea? Any idea? Yes, let me tell you. Take an example. Take an example. Assuming you are going to a doctor. What are you doing? You're going to a doctor. Suddenly one day stomach pain happened, so you went to a doctor. You went to a doctor. Yes. You went to the doctor. You asked the doctor, dear doctor, my stomach is paining. My stomach is paining. Help me out. Okay. This doctor came and told you, no problem, summa small stomach ache because you did not eat properly in the night. Take this medicine, go home, everything will be fine. Take this medicine, everything will be fine. You took the medicine in the night, nothing happened. Nothing happened. So what will you do? Will you go to the same doctor? Will you go to the same doctor? No. You will go to a second doctor. You will go to a second doctor. You went to the second doctor and you came and said, dear sir, stomach pain happening. I went to a first doctor. First doctor is coming and saying small stomach pain would have gone yesterday. Would have gone yesterday but did not go. Help me out. You went to the second doctor. Second doctor looks at you and he comes and says, no ma, it looks like pancreas issue. We'll have to do operation. You are worried now. You go home, you talk to your parents, you talk to your husband, you talk to your siblings, and you come and say, pancreas issue solraru, pancreas remove panno. They say life is important, go remove your pancreas off. You go remove your pancreas. Yes, still stomach pain is there. Will you go to the same doctor again? No. You went to the third doctor. Third doctor, you went and said, sir, stomach pain. Went to first doctor, he said small stomach problem. Went to second doctor, he's saying pancreas issue. I removed my pancreas also, still pain is not going. Third person comes and says, oh, I'm sorry, I think looks like cancer for you. Looks like stomach cancer for you. You have 1 more month to live. You are about to die. Problem, not a problem. Problem. Yes, tell me, no. Same issue. One stomach pain. One doctor is saying normal. One doctor is saying operation. One doctor is saying you are going to die. Will you be able to trust doctors anymore? No. You will not be able to trust doctors. Think the same example. You are in tax. You went to one assessing officer and you came and said, sir, my tax payable is 100. Assessing officer said, no, your tax payable is 150. Yes. Then you went to second officer. You said my tax payable is 100. That officer is saying my tax payable is 150, 160. Now you went to third officer. The third officer you are showing, sir, my tax payable is 100. He's saying 400. Will you be able to trust the department anymore? No. Why are you not being able to trust the department? Because every person has his own thoughts. Now, doctor Puerto Rico, your test may be different. Ana income tax Puerto Rico, that same income you have. Same tax you have. How can 3 different people say 3 different rules? Yes or no? There should be some consistency between them. Which means somewhere there is an issue. The issue is with me or with them? The issue is with them. Yes. So what happens is, in that cases, I can go and fight. So what will I do? I will go and approach the CBDT. Who am I? I'm the assessee. I will go and approach the CBDT and I'll come and say, sir, your child 1 is saying 150, child 2 is saying 160, child 3 is saying 400. I am fed up, sir. This is not working out for me. I want 100. Everyone is saying different numbers. I don't know what to do. CBDT will come and say, don't worry, they are my child. I will go and educate them. So CBDT went to all 3 of them. And they came and said, dear children, Rahul has come and approached me. Rahul is saying tax payable is 100. I am also not okay with Rahul's number, but you cannot come and say 150, 160, 400. Let's all 3 of us decide it is 120. Let's all 3 of us decide it is 120. Who decided? CBDT decided. Informed 2 children. Now CBDT has informed children that all the 3 children it is 120. Next time when I go to children 1, he will say 120. I go to children 2, he will say. Next I go to children 3, he will say 120. Yes or no? It's because the direction has come from. This is called as circulars. Circulars is a document which is given by CBDT to their officers. Clarifying something. There is some confusion going on, so the CBDT has clarified. If a clarification has come from CBDT to child, can the child say no? Can tomorrow the child go and tell to parent, no ma, I want 400 only? Or will he say, no ma, it's okay, let's do 120? Will he do 120 or 400? He will do 120. Circulars are a document issued by the CBDT to the assessing officers to clarify the position. This is what is called as circulars, which means it is coming from CBDT to assessing officers. It is coming from CBDT to assessing officers. Now, question to you. I wanted 100. Who am I? I am assessee. I wanted 100. CBDT now decided 120. Assessing officers have come down to 120, but I wanted 100. Will I be okay? Will I be okay? Will I go to CBDT and come and say, no, sir, I wanted 100. You are saying 120, so I also agree to 120. No, you will come and say, sir, I wanted 100. I wanted 100. If I wanted 100, I want 100. But CBDT is saying, no, I will give you 120 only. Will you be happy? Will you be happy? No, you are not happy. You cannot go and approach Nirmala Sitharaman. You cannot go and approach CBDT. The only person you can go and approach is courts. The only person you can go and approach is courts. Yes or no? I went and I tried to fight, saying that I want 100. I want 100. CBDT come and say, no, I will give you 120. Do you think I am so powerful that I can go to Nirmala Sitharaman? No. Do you think I am so powerful that I can go and say, CBDT, who are you to ask? No. The only one person I can go and beg is court. So I will go to the court and I will come and say, dear court, I wanted 100. CBDT is saying 120. You decide for me. You decide for me. In simple words, can I come and say that the circular is not binding on me? Can I come and say the circular is not binding on me? So I can come and say not binding to assessee. Not binding to assessee. But binding to AO. Yes or no? Not binding to assessee, but binding to AO. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Any doubts? Think about it. Think about it. I am an assessee. I wanted 100. I wanted 100. CBDT is coming and saying make it 90. CBDT is coming and saying make it 90. Hey, is it better for me? Not better for me. Is it better for me? It is better for me. In that case, will I like to follow? Not follow. I will like to follow. Will I go and tell assessing officer, no, sir, I am expecting 100, I am ready to pay 100. No, you will come and say, sir, if I am itself telling 100, you are telling 90, it's better for me to take 90. Yes or no? So I will come and say it is not binding on assessee, but can consider. But what? Can consider if beneficial. But can consider if beneficial. Making sense? Think about it. I have a circular of, I have a tax payable of 100. Department is saying 120. I will say I do not want to follow. I will file an appeal. Other way around, I am saying it is 100. Department is saying it is 90. In that case, I will say, okay, let's go 90. In which case, I will not try to follow. I will try to follow. Why am I trying to follow, Rahul? It's very simple. When department itself has told 90, their child will also tell 90. If their child also are going to tell 90, why will I pay 100? Am I idiot? No. I will come and say if their child are also ready to take 90, I will also take 90. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is called as a circular. Be very careful about this. Circulars are issued by CBDT to department. Is only binding on department, not binding on assessee. But assessee can take the benefit. Clear, not clear? Clear? Yes. What is the next one, Rahul? Notifications. Rahul, what is notifications? Think about it. English itself comes and says, I am trying to notify. Rahul, what is this notification? I'll give you an example. Let's assume today is October. You all know that 31st October is the due date for filing of return. 31st October is the due date for filing of return. Yes or no? Yes. Now what happened is 31st October is the due date for filing of return. But what happened correctly on 30th October? System is down. Portal is not working. Can you file return? No. Will you alone not file return or everyone in India not file return? Everyone in India is not going to file return. At that point of time, on 1st November, department will come and say all over India no one filed return, so everyone is defaulting. Correct? Or will they come and say no, 2 days my mistake. My portal did not work, that's why you did not file return. Yes. So what they'll do, they will try to extend the due date. Now, extension of due date will happen just for me or for everyone in India? Will happen everyone in India. But the problem is, due date is given in the act. Notification is trying to change it. Notification is trying to change it. To change for everyone's welfare or for only one welfare? For everyone's welfare. Yes. Now this, what happened is department issued a notification. Department issued a notification. The notification comes and says the due date for filing return is extended to 5th November. The due date for filing return is extended to 5th November. Question to you. Due date got extended to 5th November. Can the department officers come and say, no, I don't care what CBDT says, I want 31st October? Can department come and say, I don't care what CBDT says, I want 31st October only, you have delayed? No, they cannot do that, which means notifications are binding on department. Yes or no? Yes or no? Second, I am the assessee. CBDT has told it is extended to 5th November. I want time till 10th November. Can I go and say, dear sir, you extended only till 5th November. I want time till 10th November. I will not follow. No, you also have to follow. Yes or no? So which means notifications are binding on assessing officer and assessees. Very good. It is binding on assessing officers and assessees. Simple words. Circulars are binding only on assessing officers. Notifications are binding on both assessing officers and assessees. Are binding on both assessing officers and assessees. Yes or no? Yes or no? Rahul, what is notification used for? Notifications are generally used for notifying something for everyone. Like due date extension. I am trying to come and say that this person is not taxable. I am trying to tell one charitable organization is not taxable. I am trying to say that the government has introduced something, everyone should know. All those things. And for notifying rules. Tell me, rules are applicable on department or assessing officer? Rules are applicable for assessing officer or assessee? Illa both. Both. If rules are applicable for both, notification is also applicable for both. Department will issue new rules or department will issue new notification? They will issue new notification. In that notification, they'll come and say, I'm changing this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule. Yes or no? Yes. So notifications can also be used to change rules. Notification can also be used to change rules. Yes or no? Yes or no? MCQ question for you. Circulars are binding on option A, assessee, option B, department, option C, both, option D, none of the above. Circulars are binding on department. It is option B, department. Notifications are binding on both the assessee and department. Both assessee and department. Yes or no? Rahul, who will issue notifications and circulars? Both will be issued by CBDT. I will not go and knock Nirmala Sitharaman. I will come and say, dear CBDT, you itself issue it off. Yes or no? Yes or no? Perfect. Great. We are slowly progressing. We have completed what is an act. We have completed what is a rules. We have now completed what is circulars and notifications. Last thing is called as case laws. Rahul, what is case laws? Think about it. I came and said, Rahul, I wanted 100. Department is saying 120. Am I happy? No. I will go to the court and I'll come and say, sir, I have followed the laws properly. For me, it is coming 100. I have followed the laws properly. For me, it is coming 100. Department is saying 120. Sir, I don't know why. You know better, you decide. Who is this? This is the judicial bodies. So I am going and begging before the judicial bodies, coming and saying, sir, I have followed the laws properly. He is not following the laws properly. As per my followance, it is 100. As per his followance, it is 120. You tell me what is right. Question to you. Can the courts come and change law, or will they come and read the law? They will come and interpret the law, read or interpret the law, which means I will come and say, sir, it is 100 as per my interpretation. He will say it is 120 as per his interpretation. Court will come and say, okay, let me see whose interpretation is logical. Yes or no? In simple words, can I come and say case laws are interpretation of law. Can I say case laws are interpretation of law? Yes, which means it is not creation of law. It is not creation of law. In simple words, let's assume that the income tax notification comes and says that the person should file the return by 31st October. Okay, can you go to the court and come and say, no sir, actually I don't want 31st October. Every year this 31st October is causing problem, make it 31st January. Can court come and decide to make it 31st January? No. Court will come and say, law says 31st October, follow that. If you have a problem, go and beg for extension. Due date alla na change panna mudiyadhu. I cannot change due date, which means courts cannot create a law. Courts can only interpret a law. That is why they are always called as law interpreters. What are they called as? Law interpreters. Yes or no? Yes. Now that you are in finals, in inter generally we don't discuss this, but since you are in finals, you need to know who are the people. Yes. First, what will happen? There will be an issue. Issue between me and department. Yes or no? So there is an issue between AO and assessee. There is an issue between AO and assessee. Yes or no? Yes. Now there is an issue. I have to go and first file an appeal. First person I will go and file an appeal will be called as CIT capital A. The first person I will go and file an appeal is CIT capital A. Full form is called as, right? It is called as Commissioner of Income Tax. It is called as Commissioner of Income Tax, within brackets appeals. It is called as Commissioner of Income Tax, within bracket appeals. In simple words, what I am coming and doing is, the assessing officer is not being my favor. So I am complaining to his boss. CIT is his boss. Yes or no? So I went to the CIT and I came and said, dear boss, your employee is not working in my favor. You first help me out. So I am, rather than going to court itself, I am first trying the local level. Which means I am trying the boss of the assessing officer. Yes or no? Yes. So first stage of appeal will be called as CIT appeals. What appeals? CIT appeals. Clear? Yes. Rahul, I tried asking the boss. Boss is not being my favor. Boss is not doing my favor. Now I will go and approach ITAT. You know the first two words, which is income tax. Then it is called as appellate. Very good. It is called as income tax appellate tribunal. What is this income tax appellate tribunal, Rahul? I am basically coming and saying, sir, it has become very difficult for me to keep approaching High Court, Supreme Court, District Courts and all. Okay, these people don't understand anything also. Because they are not qualified income tax judges. Yes, so I want a special body which understands income tax properly. Which understands income tax properly. So I asked them to create a special body called as Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Where I am coming and saying, the people who are going to make decisions now are income tax experts. So then I will file an appeal to Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, and I will come and say, dear tribunal, CIT is also not allowing me. Assessing officer is also not allowing me. You allow me. Yes. Now, who will be ITAT? Why will ITAT work? How will ITAT work? All this will come. We have a chapter for appeals. Rahul, I tried tribunal. Tribunal is also not helping me. Now what will I do? I will then approach HC. What will I approach? HC. HC means High Court. Very good. I will then approach the High Court. If I am going to High Court, then I am coming and saying, dear High Court, I tried CIT, did not work. I tried ITAT, did not work. Now I am coming to you. You are the big court of my state. You are the big court of my state. You understand what happens in my state. So you become my income tax expert. You help me out. You become my income tax expert and you help me out. Yes or no? Yes. Rahul, I tried High Court. High Court is also not allowing. High Court is also not allowing. No options but to go to Supreme Court. Very good. No options but to go to Supreme Court. Now I will go to the highest court in India and I'll come and say, dear sir, you are my God. You are my God. CIT did not allow. ITAT did not allow. High Court is also not allowing. You at least allow. You at least allow. You will go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court can do two things. One, allow. One, dismiss. It can either allow or it can dismiss. Yes or no? Yes or no? Rahul, if it allows, what will happen? I will win. Matter over. Rahul, if it dismisses, can I go to someone else? No. This is the final level. This is the final level, which means it doesn't matter whether Supreme Court allows or Supreme Court dismisses. Whatever he does will become the final decision. Ini mala no one can fight. Ini mala no one can fight. In simple words, whatever Supreme Court decides becomes the law of the land. Whatever Supreme Court decides will become the law of the land, which means Supreme Court has given a decision. It is technically as good as a law. It is technically as good as a law. Understand, Supreme Court cannot make a law, but whatever he decides will become the law. Whatever he decides will become the law. So whatever Supreme Court decides will become the final answer. If he gives it in my favor, I am happy. If it gives it in his favor, he is happy, but no one else can fight. No one else can fight. Clear, not clear? Yes. So this is what is called as a Supreme Court. This is what is called as a Supreme Court. No matter how you try, this is the final decision. This is a final decision. In income tax, this is your whole sequence. In income tax, this is your whole sequence. You start from CIT, you go to ITAT, you go to High Court, then you go to Supreme Court, then you go to Supreme Court. This is the whole process. Don't worry about it. Like I told, we will learn this in a chapter called as appeals. We will learn the same thing in detail in chapter called as appeals. Right now, this is what the sequence is. Right now, this is what the sequence is. Clear, not clear? Clear, clear, clear. Yes. Now, question to you. Rahul, CIT has passed an order. CIT has passed an order. It is binding on who and all? It is binding on who and all. Simple example I am asking you. Basically, you are also having a dispute. I am also having a dispute. Okay. You also wanted to complain to the boss. I also wanted to complain to the boss. Yes. You went and complained to someone other's boss. Hey, we both will not have the same officer, correct? Yes. You have a different officer. I have a different officer. You will go and complain to his boss. I will go and complain to my officer's boss. Yes or no? Now, assuming your boss allowed it. Assuming your boss allowed it. Can I go and use that in my favor? Can I come and tell this boss that, sir, that boss has allowed it, so you also allow it? No. Which means CIT orders are binding only on cases under his jurisdiction. Correct, no? Correct, no? Yes. If you have a boss, unnoda boss kulle irukkudu ella case ku this will become binding. Hey, think about it, no? If your CIT has said allowed, he will use the same allowed for every other case also. Yes or no? Or will he come and say in the case allowed, in the case not allowed? He will say this case I have allowed, no, this case also I will allow. Which means for every people who are there in his jurisdiction, everyone this will be binding. Yes or no? Yes or no? Can I come and say, sir, avanga officer allow panirkaru, neeyo allow panikonga? Mudiyadu. He will not agree. He will not agree. Clear, not clear? Clear? Rahul, ITAT binding on. Binding on. Tell me, I am telling that Rahul, I have created a tribunal. Tribunal is as good as a court. Yes or no? Which means every state will have one tribunal or many tribunals? Every state will have one tribunal or many tribunals? It will have one tribunal. Yes or no? So which means that one tribunal is going to make decisions. That one tribunal is going to make decisions. That decision which the tribunal make will apply to that full state or will apply to whole of India? Very good. So it will apply only on the state. It will apply only on the state, which means now, assuming ITAT allowed it, I can go to my boss. I can go to my boss and come and say, sir, ITAT has allowed it, you allow it. Possible, not possible? Possible, yes. Which means I can go to now my CIT and I can come and say, sir, ITAT has allowed it, that is applicable to the whole of the state, so you also have to allow. You can also do that. You can also go to your CIT appeals and you can come and say, sir, ITAT allowed, so you also allow. Yes or no? Yes. But think about it. I am sitting in Chennai. Mumbai Oda ITAT has allowed it. Can I go to my Chennai boss and come and say, sir, Mumbai ITAT allowed, you also allow? No. Cannot allow it. Not binding. Which means ITAT order decisions are only binding on state. Clear, not clear? Yes. Rahul, High Court. Binding on same state. Binding on same state and the ITAT under him. And what the ITAT under him? Yes, no. See, I am coming and saying it is binding on the state. At the same time, it is binding on ITAT also. Can you come and say, can it happen that High Court is coming and saying allowed? ITAT will come and say, who are you to say? I will say not allowed. Not possible. Which means if High Court has made a decision, ITAT has to follow. But only of that state. Yes or no? Last, the Supreme Court. Binding on. Very good. Binding on whole India. High Court, ITAT, CIT also. Yes or no? So which means for ITAT, can I come and say binding only on the state and the CIT is? Yes, Adana sequence. Yes, CIT appeals ku yarkume binding illa. ITAT Puerto Rico, it binds on the state and the CIT inside that state. High Court Puerto Rico, it is binding on the state as well as any ITAT in that state and CIT in the state. Supreme Court Puerto Rico, it is binding on whole of India, every High Court, every ITAT, every CIT appeals. Yes or no? This is what the whole sequence is. Detailed discussion in appeals. But this is what a format is. Why am I elaborating so much, Rahul, to you right now is because, like I told you, since you are in finals, you also have case laws for your exam. Rahul, what level of case laws is going to come? Are they going to test you CIT level case laws? No. Are they going to test you ITAT level case laws? No. They are going to test you High Court level case laws and Supreme Court level case laws. Okay. So in your book, you will notice there are some case laws which I have given, which are High Court level case laws and Supreme Court level case laws. These case laws is what they will be discussing in exams. Okay. Where what they will do is they will not expect you to write the name of the case law. They will give you the facts. And they will come and say, depending on what the scenarios were, what do you think is the right answer? You have to come and say, based on some High Court decision or some Supreme Court decision, this happened, and so this is allowed. Puro. Okay, so you will be given theoretical questions where they'll give you a case scenario. You have to tell what is the answer. In my book, what I've done is I've written the summary. I'll show it to you maybe. This is how it look like. Yes, page number 7. If you notice these kind of blue boxes, I would have written some extract. Okay, so I have not captured the story for you. I've told you what the analysis is. Yes, so you answer you have to copy paste the story from the question and then you have to write this analysis. If you write this analysis, that is what the answer is. Okay, so what I've done is I've written the whole analysis and then I've come and told you it should be allowed or not allowed. And then in brackets I've come and told you who is the party. In this case, it is Honda CL Cars versus CIT, Supreme Court. SC na? Supreme Court. Then here I am coming and saying it is CIT versus Saurashtra Cements, Supreme Court. Yes or no? Yes. Question to you. There are two case laws here. If you notice, in the first case law, Honda CL is in the front. In the second case law, CIT is in the front. Abdina enna artham? இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேஸ்ல Honda CL versus CIT கொடுத்திருக்காங்க, செகண்ட் கேஸ்ல CIT versus Saurashtra கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. அப்படின்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? Very good. The person on the first is called as the appellant. The person on the first is called as the appellant. The person on the second is called as the defendant. The person on the second is called as the defendant. In simple words, when you see the word Honda CL cars versus CIT, it means Honda CL made the appeal. Honda CL made the appeal. If Honda CL has made an appeal to Supreme Court, which means what happened in High Court? Who won? If Honda CL made the appeal to Supreme Court, then who lost in High Court? Honda CL lost in High Court. If Honda CL lost in High Court, then only Honda CL will make an appeal to Supreme Court. Yes or no? Yes or no? So technically, the person who's on the left side is the person who lost in the previous court. Is the person who lost in the previous court. Simple example, Kilava. It is CIT versus Saurashtra. It is CIT versus Saurashtra. Apina, who made the appeal? CIT. Who did he make the appeal to? Supreme Court. Who did he make the appeal to? Supreme Court. Apana, where did he lost? High Court. So which means in High Court, Saurashtra got it in his favor. So CIT was not happy. So CIT went to Supreme Court. CIT went to Supreme Court. Clear? Not clear? Clear? So you have to be careful about who is on the left side. You have to be careful about who is on the left side. The reason I am telling you is because in exam, in case you remember the case law, it is not enough that you write the name of the person. It is also important you should write who filed an appeal. So it should be properly sequenced. You cannot suddenly come and say it is Saurashtra versus CIT. It is only CIT versus Saurashtra. Yes or no? Yes or no? So you have to be extremely careful about it. தெரிஞ்சா எழுது, தெரியலனா உட்று. Don't come and give extra answers. Okay? If you know the person and the sequence properly, you give the answer like that. Don't know the sequence, don't give the answer. Don't know the sequence? That's all. Yes. If you know the name, you write. You don't know the name, shut down. Yes. In that case, you will come and say a similar court had decided in the decision is similar to another court decision wherein it was decided so. Based on this decision, my conclusion is it should be allowed. Okay. We will write all that. When we write sums, I will teach you how to write the format. Okay. I will teach you all the formats and everything. Don't worry about it. But just ensure that when you write something in income tax, do not quote anything wrong. Do not quote anything wrong. The moment you quote something wrong in exam, they will cut marks. You know you write, you don't know, don't write. Simple as that. Okay. Don't try anything extra. They will lose marks there. You will lose marks there. Clear? Not clear? Yes. What I will be doing in the classes, I have only given you the analysis. Okay. So for you to understand this, I will tell you the story. And I will ask you, tell me what do you think should be allowed or not allowed. Okay. If you say allowed, I will come and read. If you say not allowed, I will come and say why is it like this. Okay. So what I will be doing is I will tell you the story. I will then tell you the analysis from the book so that you know what the story is and then you know the analysis. Separately, what I will do is for whatever story I told, I have a PDF. I will give that PDF to you. In that PDF, what will happen? The whole story, then the analysis, then the conclusion will be given. Okay. So for your exams, if you don't understand, day before exam, you can read the story, then the analysis, then the answer. If you understand just by this, you can read just this. Ideally, come to a position that this should be enough for you. This is all that you should read for your exam. இது படிச்சா போறோம். Technically, story இங்கேயும் இருக்கு. ஆனா அவ்வளோ லெவலுக்கு ஸ்டோரி இல்ல. I am not coming and saying there is a was formed on so and so date, he was born on so and so date, அவன் இப்படி பண்ணாரு. That is what I have not told. I have simply come and said இது பண்ணா இப்படி ஆயிடும். Clear? Exam பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு அதுதான் முக்கியம். ஏன்னா ஸ்டோரி ஏற்கனவே அவனே குத்துருவான். Yes or no? But for you to link your story to your analysis, if you want the story, I will give you the PDF. As we keep completing the chapter, on the chapter order case laws order PDF, I will share it with you. So you will have that also. Yes. So 3 PDFs which are pending with me right now. One is the solutions guide order answer PDF. One is the MCQ PDF. One is the case laws PDF. And the last one I told you, extra questions order PDF. 4 PDF I will share you for you to complete your exams properly. Clear? Okay, great. Going back. Yes. If you now notice, we have completed laws properly. We started from act, rules, notifications, circulars, case laws. This is what your 5 items are. These 5 items together will become your act. These 5 items together will become your act. Any doubts till here? All clear? Yes. Ritanya, any doubts? All clear? Perfect. Okay, great. Can we go forward? Yes. This was your basic introduction of the subject. This was your basic introduction of your subject. Technically, we are done with the introduction. We are done with the introduction. Now we are going to get into the subject. We are going to get into the subject. I told you, if you want to read the subject, every act will have first and the most important thing called as a charging section. What will it have? What will have? A charging section. Now I told you, section number 1 comes and tells you what is the act about. What is the act about? It tells you the short title, extent and commencement. Section number 2, everyone knows, is definitions. Section number 3 has some definitions. Section number 4 is what we are looking at. Section number 4 is what we are looking at. We are looking at the charging section. We are looking at the charging section. Yes or no? Every act will have one charging section which will come and tell what does this act do. What does this act do? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Let's read this charging section together. You will find it in your books. You will find it in your books. Here. Okay, you're going to find it in your books. What we're going to do is we're going to read the charging section and then you're going to come and tell me which words you don't understand. That I'll elaborate. Yes, look at the charging section. It is in page number 7. It is in page number 7. The charging section comes and says, income tax shall be charged to the total income which is earned by a person during a previous year at the rates in force and shall be assessable in the assessment year. Yes, simple, straightforward 2 lines. This is your whole income tax. This is your whole income tax. The whole income tax mother section comes and says income tax will be charged on a person in the assessment year at the rates in force basis your income which you have earned in the previous year. Basis the income which you have earned in the previous year. Yes or no? Yes or no? 2 lines for you, simple. Yes. Now tell me 2 lines. Which and all do you not understand? Which words do you not understand? Pratanya also. Which words do you not understand, ma? Or is all words clear for you? Is all words clear for you? All words clear for you? Okay. One thing I know, income tax I've already told you. So nothing for me to discuss. Nothing for me to discuss. Then I have this word called as what word? Total income. Do you know what is total income? What do you mean by total income? Total income is the sum of all the incomes in every head. Okay. Okay. Then the question is, what is income? Earnings. Earnings are from where? Okay. Since we have come to this position, let's understand. Okay. We are right now discussing the word called as total income. We are right now discussing the word called as total income. Now you have told me total income is the income which is sum comprising of all the heads of income. Which is the sum comprising of all the heads of income. Yes. So you are telling me total income. Sorry. You are telling me total income is the income from all heads. Yes, sir. Income from all heads. Perfect. Which means now I need you to tell me what do you mean by income. What do you mean by the word income? No? Okay. I'll give you examples. You tell me whether it's income or not income. Okay. I'll give you examples. You tell me whether it's an income or not an income. Scenario number 1. You have sold your house fridge. Income, not income. Income. Okay. She says income. I'm not sure. Anyway, you have you're running a CA firm. Income. Okay. You are begging. People on the road going begging and getting money. The money which has come to you, income, not an income. You've seen people on the road, no, they'll come to you, they'll collect money from you. Yes, they are earning money from you, no. Income, not an income. Income, yes or no? Yes, okay. Smuggling. Income, okay. FD maturity. You put 100 rupees in FD, 100 rupees came back to you. Income, not an income. You put 100 rupees in FD, 100 rupees came back to you. No income. Right? Okay, so FD maturity la rendu component irukum. One component is interest, the other component is deposit. Interest is income, deposit is income, not an income. நீ கொடுத்தது 100 ரூபாய் திருப்பி 100 ரூபாய் வந்துச்சு. Not an income. Okay, not an income. Treasure hunting. Treasure hunting, income, not an income. Treasure hunting. You are Indiana Jones. You went to a place, you tried to dug up something, and one big gold bar came to you. Okay, and the gold bar you took and you sold off. Income, not an income. Income. Okay. You found 100 rupees note on the road. You found 100 rupees note on the note. Income. Okay. Stole money from friend. Income. Okay. GPay cashback. You GPay la pay பண்ணும்போது அந்த scratch card வரும் பாரு. You do the scratch card, almost 99% will be better luck next time. Ana once or twice you'll get some 1 rupee, 2 rupee. No idea. Ritanya, any idea? Income. Okay. Human trafficking. Human trafficking. Appadina selling of humans. You have seen these movies and all, no, truck la they'll take multiple people and they'll sell off. Income. Okay. What else? What else? What else? Lottery. Income. KBC show. You know what is KBC show? Kaun Banega Crorepati. Income. Income. Okay. You have done almost about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 cases. Yes, 12 cases. You told 11 cases are income. One case alone you told not an income, which is the deposit case. How did you decide? On what basis did you decide something is income and not an income? Sorry. Abdina? How did you decide something is income and something is not an income? You got receipts, okay? You got your money back, no? That is a receipt only, no? Increase what? There is no increase in your wealth. Okay, so if you have found an increase in wealth, that is an income. If there is no increase in wealth, there is no income. Correct? Okay. Ritanya, anything else you haven't thought? How do you decide whether something is income and not an income? Or you feel something of this is not right?
So for that first one, I'm thinking whether that sale of house fish, will there should be any gain, only then we have to consider it.
I mean, obviously, there's, see, I'm talking about those cases where you have made a profit only. So you're fine with everything looks like income to you? Okay, any ideas? She's telling that it is income because there is an increase in your wealth. Do you think the answer is right, or do you think something else? Okay. You know what the comedy part is? Income tax has not come and told you what is income. Right? Income tax has not defined what is an income. Income tax says income. Income includes. What does it say? Income includes, that's all. Which means income tax is not coming and telling what is an income. It says, I feel like some items are income, I'll tell you what are those items. I will tell you some items are income, I will tell you what are those items. Beyond that, whether you think it's an income or not is your decision. Whose decision? Assessing officer. Why will assessee have a decision? Yes or no? Because you may think something is not an income, but assessing officer may tell it's an income. What will happen? Assessing officer will only come and tell it's an income. So you have to go and fight it out. You have to go and fight it out. Income tax in a very weird sense comes and says section 2 clause 24. What? Section 2 clause 24 comes and defines what is an income, which says income includes, and they've given a list. There are about 35-40 items in that. Nothing of it is relevant. The point what I'm trying to make is income cannot be defined. For one person it may look income, for one person it may not look income. Yes, a very good characteristic for you to understand whether something is income or not an income is to see whether you have to repay it back or not. In the example of deposit, it is your money getting back. Are you seeing an increase in your wealth? No. In the other cases and all, you are seeing an increase in wealth. You have got certain item in your hand which you are not expected to give back. Which means it has become yours permanently. That would become a basis for me to call it as an income. Clear, not clear? Yes. So income in simple words is anything which is going to increase your value. Which may not be required to give back. That becomes an income for you. But from an income tax perspective, there is no definition of income. Income is an inclusive definition. Income is what? Since I have touched the word definition, let me also clarify what do you mean by inclusive. When you write a law, you use three definitions. First definition is called as inclusive. What is the first definition? Inclusive. Second definition is called as exclusive. Third definition is called as exhaustive. What is the third definition? Exhaustive. So three definitions for you: inclusive, exclusive, exhaustive. Can you help me with what is the difference between all the three items? Can you help me with the difference between all the three items? No. See, inclusive means adding. Exclusive means removing. Exhaustive means defining. Exhaustive means defining. Yes or no? In simple words, okay? I will try to help you out. I'll try to help you out. Let's assume you are my lawmaker. You are my lawmaker. We both are together going to make a law today. Okay? We have become ministers of India. We have become ministers of India. Today we are going to make a law. Let's assume we are both deciding that we will create called as Fruit Act. What act? Fruit Act. We're going to create an act called as Fruit Act. The problem is because everyone in market does not know what is a fruit. Yes, so everyone approached us and they asked us, Rahul, please help us create an act called as Fruit Act. So you are with me. You are with me. Now we both are going to define what is fruit. We are going to define what is fruit. So we will put it in section number. We'll put it in section number 2. We'll put it in section number 2. In section number 2, we are going to define what do you mean by fruit. What do you mean by fruit? Now, question to you. You have to define what do you mean by fruit. What is the first thing which comes to your head? You look at something and you say this is a fruit. How do you decide? Generally, in the ரெண்டு item இருக்கு. You have brinjal, you have banana. Which one is a fruit? Why? சொன்னாங்களா அதனால இல்ல ஏதோ இருக்கா? டேஸ்டா? பிரிஞ்சாலுக்கு டேஸ்ட் நல்லா இல்ல அதனால. ஓகே, ஆப்பிளுக்கு ஷேப் வேற இருக்கு. அப்போ எதுக்கு ஃப்ரூட் சொல்ற நீ? There should be a general reason why apple, oranges, banana and all is called fruit and brinjal, bitter gourd and all is called vegetables. என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கு நார்மலா? ஸ்வீட்டா? வெஜிடபிள் ஸ்வீட்டா இருந்தா சாரி சம்திங் ஸ்வீட்டா இருந்தா ஃப்ரூட், ஸ்வீட்டா இல்லனா வெஜிடபிள். அப்படி ஜெனரலா எப்படி யோசிப்பீங்க? How do you tell something is a fruit? One thing which I know is something is called as a fruit if it has seeds. Yes or no? யோசிச்சு பாருங்களா, ஆப்பிள்ல சீடு இருக்கும், பனானால சீடு இருக்கும், ஆரஞ்சஸ்ல சீடு இருக்கும், பிரிஞ்சால்ல இருக்குமா இருக்காதா? Brinjal irukadu, correct? General differentiation between a fruit and a vegetable is that fruits have seeds. Yes. So what will be my first criteria? If I find something has seeds, I will tell it is a fruit. Correct or not? Yes. Which means, am I going to define it or am I going to include them? Do I know the list of fruits? No. I know that everything which has a seed should become a fruit. Yes or no? So I'm going to say fruit means any what? Any? Use some English, that's okay, make the law. You make the English, I will correct it. Fruit means any what? Food, okay. Fruit means any food which has a seed, correct? Yes or no? Fruit means any food which has a seed. Yes, this is what you have told me. This is what you have told me. Now think about it. I'll give you one example. You tell me if it's a fruit or not a fruit. In the definition pragaram, nee dhaan definition kodutha, na kudukla. Okay, I have a chicken. Chicken na roast pannirken. Okay, after I roasted, what I did is on the roasted chicken kulla I put one seed of an orange. Flavor kaga. Yes. So what I've done is I've taken a chicken, adukulla or seed potutten. Is that chicken a fruit? Not a fruit. Definition paru. Definition pragaram fruit or not a fruit? Fruit. Appona nee tappa kuthirukka. Yes, definition is wrong, which means it cannot be any food. The moment you use any food, I can put seed inside a chicken and it will become a food. Yes or no? So I have to tell any. இது நான் போட்டதா இல்ல நார்மலா இருந்ததா? சிக்கன் குள்ள நான் போட்டதா நார்மலா இருந்ததா? நான் போட்டது. Do I want something which I put or do I want something which is naturally there? So what will I say? Food means any natural product. Yes, no. Fruit means any natural product which contains seeds. இப்போ நீ யோசிச்சு பாரு, இப்போ சிக்கனுக்கு வந்து ஃப்ரூட் ஆகுமா? ஆகாது. Yes or no? Yes. See, understand, laws have a certain amount of English to follow. Laws have a certain amount of English to follow. நீங்க இங்கிலீஷ் மட்டும் மாத்திட்டீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, ஆளை வந்துட்டு சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. Because I told you we are CS. What is our job to do? What is our job to do? We interpret in wrong way, right way? Wrong way. We interpret in wrong way. நான் என்ன பண்ணேன், நீ எனக்கு ஃபுட் சொன்னா நான் தப்பா போட்டேன். Yes, this is what my job is. So I have to make the law in the most crisp manner. Yes, so I have made the law in crisp manner. I am coming and saying fruit means any natural product which has a seed. Correct or not? Correct or not? Yes, any doubts? No. Now question to you, Rahul. I have tomato. I have tomato. Tomato குள்ள seed இருக்கா இல்லையா? இருக்கு. இப்போ tomato fruit ஆ vegetable ஆ? Tomato is fruit or vegetable? In the definition prakaram. In the definition prakaram, tomato fruit or vegetable? Fruit. Ana unukku enna venum? Unukku enna venum? Vegetable venum. Correct? So what I have to do? I have to tell that yes, normally every item which has a seed is a fruit. Ana I have certain cases where I don't want a fruit. I have certain cases I don't want a fruit, which means I have to remove them. Which means I will use the word. Very good. I will say fruit means any natural product which has a seed but excludes tomato, very good, pumpkins, lemon, yes or no? Yes or no? Now read the definition. What does it say? It says fruit means any natural product which has a seed but excludes tomatoes, pumpkins and lemons. Now does the definition make sense? Yes. இப்போ நீ யோசிச்சு பாரு, நான் ஒரு லெமன் எடுத்துர்க்கேன், அந்த லெமன் ஃப்ரூட்டா வெஜிடபிளா? It is not a fruit. That's all I know. I don't know what is a vegetable. Have I defined what is a vegetable? No, I have defined what is a fruit, which means I know it is not a fruit, which means now I have to define vegetable. Yes or no? So what will I define? I will say vegetable means anything okay, anything other than fruit. Okay, since you use the word anything, the question to you, chicken fruit or vegetable? Illa nothing of the above? Okay, fruit means any, very good, natural product other than a fruit. Yes or no? Yes or no? Any natural product other than a fruit. Yes. Now if you notice, chicken is neither fruit nor vegetable, which means I am safe. Which means I am safe. Now think about it. This is how you write a law. This is how you write a law, where you have defined one thing, you have told something is not that. You've told something is not that. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. This is what is called as, if you notice on the fruit part, we used an exhaustive definition along with an exclusive definition. ஒரே definition நாங்க exhaustive யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம், exclusive யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். Vegetable போகும்போது same, we have done an exhaustive definition with an exclusive. Exhaustive definition with an exclusive. What will be an inclusive definition, Rahul? I'll give you one example which is there in income tax. It's called as profession. It's called as profession. The definition says profession includes vocation. Profession includes vocation. Now this is what the definition is. What is the definition? Profession includes vocation. Now, do you know what is profession? Do you know what is profession? No. I still don't know what is a profession. But now I know vocation is a profession. Now I know vocation is a profession, which means I may not know what is a profession, but I definitely know vocation is a profession. Now what is vocation? Singing, dancing, music, playing instruments and all those things. Yes, which means one thing is very sure. One thing is very sure. Inikku mele, if someone does singing, I will come and say, yes, you are singing for me. You are singing for me. This will be now called as profession. This will be now called as profession. Is it a profession, not a profession? I don't know. Income tax is saying it is a profession. Yes or no? In simple words, can I come and say includes is a deeming fiction? Can I come and say includes is redeeming fiction? Simple example there. I am coming and saying define he. Define what? He, he. Now generally when you hear the word he, you mean male or female? Male. Yes. But tomorrow if you notice in act many places there will be the word he na எழுதிருக்கும். அப்படினா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Female க்கு அது அப்ளை ஆகாதா இல்ல அப்ளை ஆகுமா? Should apply, correct? Tomorrow I will put a definition saying whenever I use the word he includes she. He includes she. அப்படினா என்ன அர்த்தம்? இனிமேல நீ he படிக்கும்போது நீ she ஓ include பண்ணனும். Technically is he including she? No. Practical world, do I say that male is equal to female? No. Practical world, he and she are different. Ana income tax பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் now he includes she, which means I have deemed something. I have deemed something. That is what is called as adding. That is what is called as adding. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. அப்படினா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Income includes னு எழுதிருக்கேன். Income includes. It means I have added extra things. I have added extra things. I don't know whether they are income or not, but income tax pragaram they are added. Income tax pragaram they are added. Purida puriliya? Yes. Simple example there. Okay. Technical example, but simple example. You are right now sitting at home. Right now sitting at home. You have a jewelry business. What business? You have a jewelry business. Yes. Now what happened is in this jewelry business you were selling jewelries. You are selling jewelries. So you had one jewelry which came to your house today, which came to your office today, It was some 24 karat gold. It was some 24 karat gold. The price of this jewelry is about 50 lakhs. The price of the jewelry is for 50 lakhs. Now this jewelry has come to your office for what? For selling or for using? For selling. Yes or no? But you like the jewelry very much. You're extremely nice and you think this jewelry, if it is there, it should be with me only. It should not be with anyone else. Which means what do you want to do? You want to take away the jewelry. You want to take away the jewelry. Now tell me, when you got the jewelry, was it a capital asset or a stock in trade? It was a stock in trade. Yes or no? When you got the jewelry, it was a stock in trade. You have decided that you want to keep it for yourself, which means now it has become your asset, which means it has become a capital asset. Yes or no? Yes or no? What entry will you pass? What entry will you pass? Hey, when the asset came to you, you would have paid money. So the entry you would have passed is purchases to cash. Yes or no? Now you are going to make your stock in trade into capital asset. What entry will you pass? You will pass an entry called as jewelry account to purchases. Yes or no? You are recognizing asset, you are de-recognizing stock in trade. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, you are passing an entry called jewelry to purchases. Now tell me, is there any income in this? Do you see any income element? You have just taken a stock in trade and made it into capital asset. Do you see an income here? Do you see an income here? No. Income tax comes and says this is also an income. This is also an income. This is defined under section 28(6)(a). This is defined under 28(6)(a). 28(6)(a) comes and says when you convert your stock in trade into capital asset, it is deemed as an income. It is deemed as an income. Now, question to you: is it an income actually? Actually, is it an income? No. But I am deeming it as an income. So, which means income definition either include panama panakudada. Panano. Yes. So what happened is in income definition also they put a clause somewhere. They put a clause somewhere where they came and said any income as per 28(6)(a). Any income as per 28(6)(a). Now tell me, stock in trade into capital asset was never an income. Ana nee ipo income definition kulla potuta. It means now it has become an income. Have you deemed it or is it actually there? Have you deemed it or is it actually there? You have deemed it. You have deemed it. Yes or no? Yes. That is what is income definition. That is what is income definition. Income has been given as an inclusive definition. Income has been given as an inclusive definition where they have not told you what is income. They have told you I will give you additional items which I think is an income. Additional items which I think as an income. So which means whatever you told is right. Whatever you told is right. It may be an income. It may be an income. Question is whether it's a taxable income or not taxable income. Yes or no? Yes. That is what we need to decide. That is what we need to decide, whether it's a taxable income or not taxable income. How to decide whether it's taxable or not taxable? Simple. Read the balance chapters. Read the balance chapters. If it is given in the balance chapters, it is taxable. If it is not given in the balance chapters, it is not taxable. Simple. Okay. So I in my book have not given you the definition of income. In my book I have not given you the definition of income because there is no use. There is no use. In simple one line I have given, income means any income given in the subsequent chapters. அப்படினா என்ன அர்த்தம்? மத்த சாப்டர்ஸ்ல இருந்தா அது income, இல்லனா no income. Clear? Yes. Now general rule, income pragaram, the general rule is income can be of two types. It can be a capital nature income or it can be a revenue nature income. It can be a capital nature income or it can be a revenue nature income. Rahul, how to differentiate? Let's do the same example. You have how many items? Around 14 items. Tell me each item whether it's capital or revenue. Okay. Yes. First item, sale of house fridge, capital, revenue? Capital. Running CA firm, revenue. Begging, revenue. Smuggling, revenue. FD maturity, interest part, revenue. Deposit part, deposit is not even an income, so don't worry. Yes. Next, treasure hunting, revenue. 100 rupees note, you found 100 rupees note on the note, revenue, capital. Will you find 100 rupees note every day or you'll find once in a while? Revenue, capital. Stole money from friend, daily stealing, once in a while. Capital. GPay cashback, 100% capital, வரவே வராது. Human trafficking, revenue. Lottery, Shara, okay. Lottery, capital. KBC show, capital. You made some decisions. What was your idea? How did you decide something is capital, how something is revenue? What was the idea which was going behind your head when you decided something is revenue, something is capital? So one thing which I noticed when you decided is, you came and told me, Rahul, something is capital and something is revenue when you saw something as regular. Yes, when you found something as regular, you told it is revenue. When you found something as once in a while, you told it is capital. Yes or no? This is one decision you made. Second, what else did you think of? Very good. Second thing, you're coming and saying, Rahul, if I'm selling the item itself, if I'm selling the main item itself, it is capital. Yes. Now coming to regular, think about it. You're running CA firm. You're running a CA firm. What and all do you need to run your CA firm? You need a building, you need furniture. All these are capital items, revenue items. But still you're telling me it is revenue, because are you selling the building or are you using the building for doing your business? Very good. So what is happening is, in the capital nature, you are selling the item itself. In revenue item, you are using the main item for generating revenue. Yes or no? Yes. In the first item, you are selling the main item to generate revenue. You are selling the main item to generate revenue. In revenue, you are using that item to generate revenue. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, yes. These are the two major classifications for you to understand whether something is capital or something is revenue. Clear? Yes. Now, question to you. Rahul, I am a share broker. What am I? I am a share broker. What is my business? What is my business? To buy and sell shares. My business is to buy and sell shares. Now, will I have profit or will I have loss? I may have both. I may have both. Now, Rahul, this profit which I am getting is revenue or capital? I am a share broker buying and selling shares. Is the profit coming from that revenue or capital? Why? What is my business, ma? If you tell me that my whole profit is capital, which means my P&L will show 0. Capital gains will show everything, which means unakku business illa, unakku side income mattum dhaan vandhu irukku. Correct? Do you have only side income or do you have main business? Revenue, capital. What is your main business? Buying and selling shares, which means the profit which is coming from that is your main business or side business. So which means it's capital or revenue? Think again, capital, revenue. Okay, I'm showing you the share broker. Okay, share broker oda P&L irukku. Share broker oda P&L irukku. Yes, left side is expense, right side is expense. Left side is expense, right side is income. Yes, what will be the right side having? You are a share broker. What and all will right side have? Sale of shares. Yes. How much? 10 lakhs. Left side will have buying shares. Let's say 6 lakhs. Net profit is 4 lakhs. This net profit of 4 lakhs is capital or revenue? Why? Idanda unnoda business. If this is not your business, what happens? This will become your main income. See, when something is your main income, that is your revenue item. When something is your side income, that becomes capital item. Yes or no? Think about it carefully. Think about it carefully. If you tell this 4 lakhs is my capital, in that case, I'll come and say, Rahul, you are doing no business only. What are you doing? You are trying to buy and sell shares, which is your capital gains. Is it your capital gains? Or are you doing this regularly? Are you doing this regularly or is it a capital gains? You are doing it regularly, which means it should become revenue. Very good. Yes. So one other item of revenue will be shares held by yaar? Stock broker. Shares held by stock broker. Yes or no? Yes. Now take the other example. Take the other example. You are right now a CA. You are right now a CA. Your main business is to auditing. Your main business is auditing. But you are also investing in market. Okay. So you found some Reliance shares. You bought the Reliance shares. You sold the Reliance shares. You have got profit from that. Capital, revenue. Why? That is what the difference is. That is what the difference is. So capital, it will be shares held by others. Clear? Yes. What your business is decides whether it is capital or revenue. Adhe example vechiko. Nee furniture irukku. Okay. Now furniture for a CA firm may be a capital asset. And furniture for IKEA will be a revenue because their business is to sell furniture. Yes. So the person who's selling that item will be called as a revenue item. The person who's buying the item may be calling it as capital item. Yes, that can also make an impact. That can also make an impact. Rahul, why am I learning this difference? Why am I learning this difference? Income tax on a general parlance comes and says all revenue items are fully taxable. All revenue items are fully taxable. At the same time, for capital item, they are coming and saying only taxable if defined in where ma? Income definition. Very good. If defined in 224. If defined in 224. Yes or no? Yes or no? In simple words, how do you understand income? If you find that income as a revenue receipt, you will say taxable. If you find the income as a capital receipt, then you look at the inclusive definitions. You look at the inclusive definitions. And the inclusive definition la irukka inda taxable illana not taxable. Illana not taxable. Simple example thara, sale of house fridge. Sale of house fridge is not given in the definition, which means it will become இந்த ஐட்டம்ஸ்ல இருந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்னென்ன டாக்ஸபிள் இருக்கு சொல்ல பாப்போம். ஸ்ட்ரைட் ஃபார்வர்ட் என்னென்ன டாக்ஸபிள் இருக்கு நான் பார்த்தாலே can I come and say all revenue items are taxable? Yes, so I'll come and say B is taxable, C is taxable, D is taxable, interest is taxable, F is taxable, J is also taxable. Yes or no? Now the question comes for the balance. Question comes for the balance. Capital items பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் first item is sale of house fridge. Sale of house fridge. IFOS la ponale, capital gains la ponale, capital gains comes and says personal nature asset. Personal nature asset. Therefore, IFOS comes and says not taxable. Capital gains comes and says not taxable. Rahul, why not taxable? It is not given in the definition. It is not given in the definition. Next. 100 rupees note on road. Taxable, not taxable? Taxable, not taxable? Taxable. Why, Rahul? IFOS. IFOS gift. IFOS gift. If it goes more than 50,000, everything becomes taxable. Next, stole money from friend. Why? Same gift. Friend kuttaru gift unakku. Yes, next, GPay cashback. Why? How is it a gift? GPay cashback is a net of cost. Understand, when you made the money, when you paid the money, you paid 100, you got cashback of 1, which means technically you paid 99. Yes or no? So what will happen? This GPay cashback will become a reduction from your expense. It will become a reduction from your expense. So adanal automatic income aidum. So what will happen? P&L la pogumbodhu P&L expense 100 rupees potirpa. Ana GPay cashback is 1 rupee. So expense will now become so taxable. Human trafficking. Human trafficking is capital. Sorry, revenue. Okay, utru. Lottery. IFOS, therefore taxable. KBC show. Same taxable. Why? Same IFOS, casual income. Yes, in simple words, if you notice, some items may become taxable, some items may not become taxable, depending on whether it is given in the act. Depending on whether it is given in the act. If it is not given in the act, not taxable. If it is given in the act, then it is taxable. But that rule is only for capital nature. It is not for revenue nature. Very good. It is not for revenue nature. Clear, not clear? Clear? Yes, I'm going to give you some examples. You tell me whether it is capital or revenue. Okay. I'm going to give you some examples. Tell me whether it is capital or revenue. Okay. Compensation received for termination of agency business being his only income source. Okay. I am running an agency. And the agency la basically I am having an agency of Reliance. I'm having an agency of Reliance where I sell all Reliance products. நாளைக்கு எனக்கும் அவனுக்கும் டிஸ்பியூட் ஆச்சு. யாருக்கு? Reliance கூட. So I have a dispute with Reliance, and the dispute நால what happened? Reliance said, இனிமேல I will not work with you. I went to Reliance and came and said, dear sir, you are my bread and butter. நீங்க காசு கொடுத்தாதான் எனக்கு காசு, நீங்க காசு கொடுக்கலன்னா எனக்கு வாழ்க்கை போயிடும். Yes, since you are terminating my business, I want 1 crore compensation. This 1 crore has come to you in your hand. Capital or revenue? Capital, revenue. Think about it carefully. I have only one agency business. That one agency business is shut down. I got 1 crore in exchange for that shutdown. Will it happen regularly or will it happen once? It will happen once. Therefore, it is very good. Capital. Yes or no? Yes. Next one. Compensation received for terminating one agency business out of many agencies. Okay. Right now, I have agency for Reliance, Samsung, OnePlus, Apple, everything. Idhila Reliance is coming and saying, I don't want to work with you. Am I bothered? Not bothered. Not bothered. Why? I have other agencies, which means now if Reliance comes and says, I don't want to work with you, but I'm giving you 1 lakh rupees. Revenue, capital. Very good. It is revenue. Purida. Yes, understand the sequence. Next, compensation received for premature termination of employment. I am working in a company. I'm working in a company. Company said, I don't want you anymore. Company said, I don't want to anymore. Get lost from here. I said, sir, if you want to remove me, you have to pay me 1 lakh rupees compensation. When I get that 1 lakh rupees, is my employment finally over or not over? Finally over. Do I have any other income source? No. Revenue, capital. Very good. Clear? Clear? Next. Rahul, compensation received for terminating or modifying business contracts. I'm having a contract with you for doing business. You told tomorrow you don't want to do business. I said, sir, if you don't want me to do business, you have to give me 1 lakh rupee. Capital, revenue. Capital, revenue. Same capital. Why, Rahul? Why? Business contract is over. I don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. Next item, gift. I'm receiving gift. Capital, revenue. Capital, very good. I'm receiving gift, it will be called as capital. Why? Because I will not receive daily gifts. I will not receive daily gifts. Clear, not clear? Yes. Quickly reading the definition, it says distinguishing between revenue and capital. Distinguishing between revenue and capital, I'm coming and saying any income from circulating capital which is turned over to yield income or loss is called as revenue. I am taking something, yielding income or loss out of it, that is called as revenue. Next, income from assets which the owner keeps in his possession for making profits. If I'm having an asset, that asset is helping me make profits, that is called as capital. Next, I'm saying profits arising from transactions regularly undertaken, it will be called as revenue. Right side, I'm coming and saying gains arising from transaction which is outside normal dealing, that will become capital. Shares and securities, Puerto Rico. Ordinary course of business in the revenue, not ordinary course in the capital. Taxability will be revenue is always taxable. Capital is taxable only if it is 224. Capital is taxable only if it is 224. Clear? Clear? Yes, this is how you distinguish your revenue and capital. Aduketa mari you decide whether it is taxable or not taxable. You decide whether it's taxable or not taxable. Clear? Yes. We are out of time, so we'll stop the discussion for today. Just to clarify what and all we have done for today. Today we started with definition of laws. Definition of laws. We distinguished what type of laws we have. We have act, rules, circulars, notifications, case laws. Then we came and we decided what do you mean by charging section? What do you mean by charging section? In the charging section, we came and said charging section is section number 4. In that we came and said we are deciding now what is an income. We are now deciding what is an income. We told income is generally covered under 224. 224. Inclusive, exclusive, exhaustive. Inclusive, exclusive, exhaustive. Inclusive definition. In that inclusive definition, we came and clarified that inclusive definition, we have deemed some items. We have deemed some items. If you want to decide whether it is taxable or not, decide whether it is revenue or capital. If it is revenue, always taxable. If it is capital, it will be taxable only if it is covered. It will be taxable only if it is covered. Clear? Clear? Great. This is the end of discussion for today. For those who don't have the material, just ping me and I'll send you the soft copy of the first chapter alone. For those who have the material, you can go through it yourself. Okay, just to clarify for the ones who are watching on YouTube, today was the second demo. So going forward, we are stopping YouTube. But yes, there is a good news. We have decided that until PGBP, all chapters will be uploaded in your YouTube also. Okay, so which means today we are doing basics, then we'll be doing rates of taxes, then we'll be doing what is called as PGBP. So basics, rates of taxes, PGBP. In the 3 chapter, all videos will be uploaded on YouTube as well. The only thing is it will not be a live video. Which means there will be a 1 day gap. Today we'll shoot the video. The edited, cleaned version will be uploaded in YouTube as a premiere for you. Okay. So after that, if you still want to continue, you can decide yourself and you can join the classes. Otherwise, you can let go. At any given point of time, intervals, we will be giving you some shots and everything for your recommendations and benefits. But yes, for the ones who are going to be a part of the class, from tomorrow will only be Google Meets. A Google Meets class for you on an online setup. If you are permitted, you can join us on a physical setup as well. But on an online setup, it will be a Google Meets. All videos until PGBP will be uploaded on YouTube as a premiere 1 day later. For you to watch and comfortable yourself. Okay. The videos will also be shot and will be given as a backup for the ones who join us in the class. For those who feel like they want to do a physical, they want to do only a recording classes, videos will start uploading for you 1 month later. 1 month later, a batch of videos will be uploaded for you and you can take our classes on a recording setup as well, depending on your benefits and complexions. Clear, everyone? Perfect. Yes. Next class, we'll be discussing what happens in this chapter a little bit more. We'll be defining what is section 4, elaborating a little further. Tomorrow, we'll be completing this chapter number 1. Tomorrow, we'll be completing chapter number 1 and then moving to the next chapter called as rates of taxes, where we'll be defining what the rates of taxes are looking like. Clear, everyone? Awesome. We will discuss with the balance students, depending on their benefits and complexities, whether we can have an extended batch on weekends. Okay, if you people are comfortable who are joining me on the classes, if you are comfortable on weekends, we will have a little more extended classes, maybe till 10 or 10:30, depending on your comfortableness. If you are having prior commitments, we will not have that. Okay, so we will confirm with each other and we'll decide accordingly. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, people. Have a good day.